Behind the glamour of the new Formula One season, a surprising reality is beginning to emerge. Not about who is the fastest on track, but about who is actually lagging far behind the scenes. While much of the attention is focused on car performance and driver battles, recent reports indicate a significant gap in engine power that could dramatically reshape the competitive landscape. Even more striking, a team of Ferrari's caliber is rumoured to be facing a deficit of up to 30 horsepower compared to its main rival, Mercedes. It may sound like a small number, but in modern F1, it can be the difference between victory and defeat. So does this mean Ferrari is truly in trouble, or are they quietly building toward a major comeback in the second half of the season? Let's discuss. The latest reports on the engine power hierarchy for the 2026 regulations reveal a highly intriguing and complex dynamic. Ferrari, currently regarded as having one of the best chassis on the grid, is facing significant challenges on the power unit side. With an estimated deficit of around 30 horsepower compared to Mercedes, their overall performance is compromised, despite having a highly competitive aerodynamic package and car balance. On one hand, this situation brings both positives and negatives. The upside is that Ferrari can still compete and even secure podium finishes thanks to the exceptional quality of their chassis. On the downside, the lack of engine power clearly limits their maximum potential, especially on tracks that heavily rely on straight-line speed. This situation becomes even more complex because engine development in Formula One is not something that can be done instantly or reactively in a short period of time. Ferrari is currently relying on a primary power unit specification, while a second unit is set to be introduced soon, though it will not deliver a significant performance boost. This means that in the short term, they must continue competing with a relatively stagnant package compared to rivals who may have already unlocked performance gains. Major upgrades can only be implemented once Ferrari receives approval for additional development units, ADU, a mechanism that allows teams to carry out further development based on their performance gap to competitors. Interestingly, despite these limitations, Ferrari may actually be in a strategically advantageous position. If their performance deficit truly exceeds the 4% threshold, the Maranello-based team would be entitled to significantly greater development allowances, potentially up to twice as much as other teams. With these additional resources, Ferrari could engineer a substantial performance leap through a major engine upgrade in the middle of the season. Current estimates point to around July as a crucial turning point when these changes could begin to take effect and potentially alter the competitive order dramatically. Behind the current situation lies an interesting story of how Ferrari ended up falling this far behind in the competitive hierarchy. During the early stages of development, the Maranello team encountered serious issues with their initial engine concept design. The concept failed to deliver the required stability and was frequently plagued by technical problems that led to unit failures. This forced Ferrari to make a rapid switch to a new specification in a relatively short time, a critical decision that, while necessary, came with significant consequences for their early season performance due to the limited time available for refinement. Meanwhile, Mercedes has demonstrated a much higher level of preparedness. With internal combustion engine output estimated at around 585 horsepower, they have set a high benchmark on the grid. This advantage is further strengthened by a sophisticated technical approach, including the use of a more optimized compression ratio, an area that rivals have yet to fully match. Red Bull, on the other hand, has delivered a somewhat surprising performance, with a power unit that nearly matches Mercedes, signalling significant progress in engine development. Ironically, however, this impressive performance has not fully translated into results due to major issues on the chassis side, which has become the weak point in their overall package. On the other hand, Honda is currently the manufacturer trailing them most in terms of engine performance, with a power deficit estimated at around 90 to 100 horsepower compared to its rivals. This gap is not merely a number on paper. It has a very real and significant impact on on-track competitiveness, particularly in straight-line speed and corner exit acceleration. This situation directly affects the performance of teams relying on Honda power units, including Aston Martin, which faces a major challenge in remaining competitive at the front of the grid. The lack of power makes it difficult for them to match teams equipped with stronger engine packages, while also forcing engineers to make compromises in other areas such as aerodynamics and race strategy to close the performance gap. Nevertheless, Ferrari's prospects remain quite open. With the technical foundation and resources at their disposal, a comeback is still a realistic possibility, especially if the team can introduce a more competitive engine specification by mid-season. The key lies in how Ferrari optimizes every available upgrade package, from combustion efficiency and hybrid performance to overall energy management. If all these elements can work in harmony, Ferrari has the potential to significantly reduce the performance gap and re-enter the fight at the front as a serious contender for the World Championship. Moreover, Red Bull's experience in turning things around and closing deficits in a relatively short time serves as concrete proof that a mid-season resurgence is far from impossible in the modern Formula One era. Even so, the road to recovery is far from smooth. External challenges also loom, particularly regarding the 2026 regulations, which remain a topic of debate and could still undergo further adjustments. One crucial aspect is the power distribution between the internal combustion engine and the hybrid system, which has yet to be fully finalised. If the share of electric power is ultimately reduced, the balance of dominance could shift back toward conventional engines. This scenario could play into Mercedes' strengths, given their well-known excellence in that area, while further highlighting Ferrari's current weaknesses in combustion engine efficiency and output. Therefore, Ferrari is not only required to close its current performance gap, but must also anticipate the direction of future regulations to remain competitive in the long term. With all these dynamics in play, Ferrari appears to have no choice but to go through a pain-before-gain phase, a difficult start to the season as the price to pay for a potential resurgence in the second half. This situation demands both patience and strategic precision, from technical development to on-track execution. Under such circumstances, consistency becomes a crucial factor, securing points regularly, maximising every podium opportunity, and minimising mistakes will form the foundation while awaiting the introduction of their major upgrade package. Ultimately, this season is not just about who is the fastest right now, but who has the capacity to develop the fastest over the course of the competition. In a sport that relies heavily on innovation and rapid adaptation, today's advantage does not necessarily guarantee tomorrow's dominance. With development constantly evolving, every team has a chance to turn things around through strategy, technical upgrades, and more effective use of resources. In the end, who do you think will come out on top this season? The team that is fastest now, or the one that improves the fastest? Share your thoughts below